Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a comedy movie review, and I'll be having a look at the film Knights of Badassdom. So this movie has actually been completed for some time now, and the first trailer came out in 2011 and it's now finally been released in 2014. So what was the hold up? So there's been many kind of speculation, but basically the overall feeling was the kind of quality of the movie wasn't all that fantastic, and the sort of distributor didn't want to kind of distribute it ultimately. So what's the film actually like? Well, let me tell you a little bit about what the actual plot is first. So in case you don't know what LARPing is, this movie basically centers around the world of LARPing, or live action role play, which is where basically people sort of dress up in kind of fancy medieval sort of costumes and kind of reenact or play out different sort of combat scenarios and things like that. Very much like Dungeons and Dragons, as they actually reference in this movie, but in real life ultimately. We're using kind of foam weapons and sort of makeshift armour and things like that. Anyway, and this movie features really a cast of TV actors who you'll know from various kind of different sort of genre TV programmes. You've got Peter Dinklage from obviously Game of Thrones. You've got, I don't remember the actor's name, but you've got the guy who plays Abed from Community. You've got the guy who plays Jason Stackhouse in True Blood. He's kind of the main character, Joe. Summer Glau, who plays a kind of female lead, I suppose, who's in a variety of different sort of genre TV shows, or has been at least, and it's kind of got this reputation for kind of being a bit of poison whenever she's in something that ultimately gets cancelled, and maybe that was true for this one. Anyway, so essentially you have this kind of, I guess the main three characters. You've got Joe, played by Ryan Courtwain, I think his name is, and he plays Jason Stackhouse in True Blood, and he's kind of this, I guess, the main hero who's kind of just recently sort of split up with his ex-girlfriend, and his friend, played by Steve Zahn, is this kind of like very much into this sort of live action role play, and he sort of ultimately sort of coerces him into coming out with them for the weekends, and then they kind of meet up some other friends, including Peter Dinklage and Summer Glau's character called Beth, and they end up sort of playing this live action role play. But Steve Zahn's character has an actual spellbook, although he didn't actually realise what it is, and manages to actually summon this succubus who takes the form of Joe's ex-girlfriend, because he has a picture of her, and ultimately later morphs into a kind of a big demon which looks like it came straight out of Power Rangers. And obviously these guys who are sort of LARPing have to sort of use their real weapons and try and sort of defeat the evil monster. And that's really all the plot is. There's not a lot of plot here, to be quite honest. And this film has a number of different problems. Unfortunately, just the direction of it is very flat. There's no sort of depth to the character, no real sort of characterization. You can never really sort of get behind all the main players, even though you could have seen them in a variety of different TV programs and stuff. The characters just seem very sort of like two-dimensional and not fleshed out one iota. It's also meant to be a comedy, and it really isn't all that funny. There's a couple of amusing lines here and there, but ultimately speaking, it is not an amusing film for the most part. There's a couple of sort of mild chuckles you may have, but they've missed some opportunities with some of the comedy here. Plus, the climax of this movie and subsequent musical number is very disappointing. And the effects, it's quite a cheap film, and I've mentioned this kind of monster that you sort of see. It does look, I mean, they kind of joke around that obviously all these people are dressed up in kind of, rubber armour and things like that, but this monster, it's meant to be the real one, just looks like someone in a kind of big rubber suit, which it obviously is. So, it kind of looks quite cheap as well. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, and I was actually really looking forward to this film, because the trailer makes it look quite fun, I have to say. And it's not a terrible film, and it's, I guess it's entertaining enough, but it's a sort of film that I think most people, for the most part at least, will kind of be disappointed within it. I mean, it's nice to sort of see all of these sort of actors that you watch on TV, obviously all together in one movie. Peter Dinklage doesn't get a huge amount of screen time, but this was made really before he sort of became more well known through Game of Thrones and stuff like that. So, maybe they had a missed opportunity with him. But nonetheless, it is, it's an interesting cast all put together, and you'll sort of see sort of people that you'll kind of recognise from a few different sort of pieces here and there. But ultimately, I have to say, I thought this film was a bit of a missed opportunity. It's certainly not a train wreck, but I think it's as a sort of comedy movie, a fantasy comedy movie, it's probably below average. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Certainly not the train wreck some people claim it to be, but not a masterpiece other people say it is as well. So 4.5 for me. Have you seen it? What's your opinion? Leave me a comment. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.